Hi, viewers. Happy to bring to you again in this news podcast updates of what has been happening in the African aviation sector in the previous week in our episode titled Weekly Dose of African Aviation. We have put in together a lot of updates to let you know what has been happening all through the African continent. We apologize for the previous weeks for not coming as usual with these updates. In this week's update, we shall bring information from Rano Air. We will talk about Cameco, Seba Intercontinental, Afrijet, Fly CAA, Madagascar Airlines. We will talk about Tunis Air, Jumbo Jet, Fly Angola. We will equally bring information from Air Cairo, Sky Vision, Ethiopian Airways, Kenya Airlines, South African Airways, Nigeria, Ibom's Air, and also we will talk about Air Mauritius. As you can see, we got a lot on our list to bring to you updates about of what has been happening on the African continent. Meanwhile, are you still new on Aviation Info? Please don't forget to subscribe. Aviation Info is #1 African YouTube channel that brings to you updates. And in this week's episode, let's start with Rano Air. Rano Air gets a green light from the government to commence flight operation. This airline is based in Kano in the northern Nigeria. Last March, the young startup secured a fleet of 5 embryos 145 for its launch. Cameco renews its iOS certifications for the 5th time in a row. All airlines that are members of the International Air Transport Association (IATA) are required to periodically pass the IATA Operational Safety Audit to ensure they adhere to international standards. A challenging exercise that has been on Cameco. And still with Cameco now has 2 MA-60s available for flight operations. The 2 aircrafts, along a third one owned by the Army, were purchased under a 2012 contract between the State of Cameroon and a Chinese manufacturer. And moving to Libreville, Afrijet will resume flights to Sao Tome. Afrijet have been serving Sao Tome regularly over the last 6 years, but in the first quarter, the Gabonese private company has left the market due to deterioration of business climate. But the airline announces the resumption of flights to this destination. Sao Tome will again be served by Afrijet. And moving to Equatorial Guinea, Seba Intercontinental charters an Airbus 330 for its flights to Europe. Seba Intercontinental will resume regular flights to Europe this November 2022 after more than 2 years of suspension due to health crisis. And in DRC, Fly CAA chooses Johannesburg as its first international destination. Since 2019, Fly CAA has been building its fleet at an average rate of 2 new aircrafts every year. The Congolese private carrier now owns Airbus minimum-sized and long-haul aircrafts, a fleet he intends to use in his future expansion plan. And moving to Madagascar, Madagascar Airlines secured 3 Embraer 195-E2 and appoints a new CEO. Since December 2021, Madagascar Airlines has been operating the assets of Air Madagascar and its subsidiaries. The Malagasy state has finally relied on new blood and operational assets of the EJET family. And moving to Tunisia, Tunis Air takes delivery of its 4th Airbus 320 Neo. According to the manufacturer of Airbus, Tunis Air Airbus 320 offers 15 to 20% fuel economy performance compared to the first A320 family. It also features significant reduction in CO2 emission up to 20% and nearly 50% of nitrogen oxide emissions. Air Algeria now connects Ethiopia and South Africa. Air Algeria connects Ethiopia and South Africa as air borders are now open. Air Algeria has reactivated its business plan for 2021 up to 2025. One of the components of the plan includes the opening of new routes, especially on the African continent. And in Kenya, Kenya's Jumbo Jet takes delivery of its 7-8-400. Jumbo Jet began operation in April 2014. The airline is IOSA certified since June 2019. The low-cost Kenyan company has been building its crew around the Dash 8-400 aircraft for its expansion plan. And moving to Mauritius, Air Mauritius at with lease ATR72. In the recent months, Air Mauritius has experienced significant disruption in its inter-island network due to the inavailability of the parts of its bi-propeller fleet. As the holiday season approaches, the airline wants to timely solve this problem so that they can meet up to the demands of the market. And in Angola, Fly Angola received its first triple propeller aircraft, a Dash 8-300 series. Flight Angola is based in Luanda, and the airline began operation in 2018 and served the domestic route market in Angola. And in Cairo, Air Cairo received its fourth ATR 72-600 and 7 Airbus 320. After Ethiopian Airlines, Air Cairo is the second African company that has experienced the fastest growth in fleet this year. And still in Egypt, Aviation received its first aircraft, an Airbus 320. And moving to East Africa, Rwanda expects its third Airbus 330 by the end of the year. In September 2022, Rwanda confirms the cancellation of its order of 2 Airbus 330-900 Neo, failure to acquire Neo variants straight from the factory. The Rwanda national carrier has finally found an alternative of the second-hand rental market. And stay in Rwanda, the airline received its first cargo aircraft that will operate its cargo destinations. And in Senegal, Air Senegal received 2 Airbus 220-300. Despite the failure of its first aircraft, Air Senegal remained confident about its operational access of the Airbus 220s. The Senegalese carrier is still expecting 7 units in accordance with the letter of intent signed with Airbus in the year 2019 in the Dubai Air Show. And in South Africa, after a long period of suspension, South African Airways will resume flights to Zimbabwe. In preparation for the upcoming year 2023, Nigerian's Ibom's Air received 2 waitlist Airbus 320. And moving to Ethiopian Airlines, African #1 airline, Ethiopian Airlines received its 19th Airbus 350. Ethiopian Airlines is expanding its heavy carrier fleet. The national carrier has taken delivery of a new Airbus 350-900 that arrived in Addis Ababa on Friday, the 18th of November. And this is what we've put together in this week's episode of Weekly Dose of African Aviation. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Meanwhile, are you still new on my channel? Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss them.